Hello, everyone. Welcome. I have my virtual screen up here so I can see all of my folks joining us virtually. I have connected with everyone here at the West Clocks with me physically, but if you are joining me virtually, please put in the chat where you are joining from so I can kind of, feel as connected to you. So, wait till this, hello, okay, awesome. They're adding things in the chat. So I'm Katrina. I am just a girl obsessed with creating safe spaces for people to practice yoga in. I'm also a stepmom. I'm a mom to rescue dogs. I'm a celiac, a car girl. Let's see, what else? I am a high school cheerleading coach. That's a fun one, working with a bunch of 16-year-old girls. So that's a fun one, helping them feel empowered. I love anatomy, astrology, teaching and learning. For all my astrology lovers out there, anybody in here? She's like, yeah. I'm a Taurus sun, Pisces moon, Sag rising, so you can figure out what that says about me. So, I'm also a scientist, an educator, and an author. I own a physical studio here in this local community, but also a virtual global studio. I certify students all over. I see a lot of you in my little screen here, so thank you for being here. I teach 200-hour, 300-hour, and Kundalini yoga teacher trainings, and I'm the trauma-conscious voice of the operation. So you'll probably notice that I said trauma-conscious rather than trauma-informed. We'll kind of talk about that in a second. And yeah, all of those things that I just told you are cool, and I'm proud of them, and they gave me a wealth of knowledge as far as anatomy, human neurobiology, but all of that study, any extra honors listed on my degree, great, but it's my lived experiences that helps me really show up in the world and make a difference. So I survived an eating disorder, I survived a school shooting, I survived an abusive marriage. Those things inform how I show up in the world and how I can be in this room holding space with all of you and be considerate of any stories that you might hold. So my stories might seem like the so-called big T traumas. They seem pretty obviously traumatic to most of us in this room, correct? But there are little T traumas too. And I don't think trauma needs to be, there's no scale for it. It's about how it's impacted you and how you move through the world. How is your nervous system affected by what you've been through? Okay? Now, nervous systems, they're meant to keep us safe, right? Like that's its job, and it's very, very good at it. Sometimes it takes itself very seriously, a little too seriously, right? So take a moment, consider what you've been through, why you're in this room, and let's just take a full minute to honor whatever stories you hold. Because those stories, those are my stories, but they're just part of who I am, right? It's not all of who I am. They impact how I move through the world, and your stories probably do the same thing for you. So let's just take a minute to honor those. A minute in silence. You can put your hands on your heart. You can put them anywhere else. If it feels safe, you can soften or close your eyes. No really need to even control your breathing. Just a minute in silence. When you're ready, just kind of come back to our space together, perhaps with this new understanding of the stories you're holding, the stories everyone else in this room might be holding. Hello, welcome. Now, your nervous system is designed to make a choice. And as I said before, the choice is always what it thinks is going to keep you safe. So because of some of those stories you've been through, it may have learned these certain ways of being that might be to fight. It might be to freeze, it might be to flee, it might be to fawn, which sometimes we don't talk about that one. And I've experienced sexual trauma. So the fawn response is very real for those of us. Like it kept me safe to appease, right? And there's a lot of shame around that for many people. But I want you to understand and take away from this discussion that the nervous system is designed to make the choice. The choices aren't to be judged. They are to be accepted. Now, having said that, we can have some influence. We can use tools to help our nervous systems feel appreciated, feel accepted, and just be a little happier and maybe make a different choice, right? So we have more influence over that than we realize, than that automatic part of our nervous system that's just making those choices. And oftentimes we forget that. So I use the power of 40-day practices to find that balance, because there is a top-down approach to dealing with the stories that all of us are holding, and that would be talk therapy. How many of us have been to talk therapy? You can raise your hand if you feel comfortable doing that. Great, it's valid, I love it. I consider it a non-negotiable. I go all the time. But if we could just talk our way out of trauma, wouldn't we all be healed right now and not in this room? Yeah, right? So there's also the bottom-up piece, and that's what I do. I'm not a therapist. I'm a yoga instructor. The bottom-up piece, when we are bringing the physical body online with what we're doing up here in the head brain, that's where the power is, right? So bottom up is embodiment practices, somatic practices, movement. My favorite are mudras. So those are certain ways of holding your hands. Have any of you practiced mudras before? Yeah. So those are certain ways of holding your hands that help direct energy and intention. So those were my non-negotiable. Those are what helped heal me, so much so that I wrote a book about it. These are some of the exact mudra practices that I use to find the strength to leave my marriage. So there's 8 practices, one for each of the chakras in there. So we'll experience one here together today. When we layer on breath work, how many of us have worked with breath work? Yeah, so when we hold our hands in a certain way and we layer breath work on top of that, that's where I find a lot of power, because we're already holding the intention in our hands. We're like holding intention, but then we're also helping regulate our nervous system with our breath, because it's a very, very powerful tool for regulating our nervous system. So I believe combining that top-down approach with the bottom-up approach and meeting in the middle at heart center is where true healing happens. Like I said, I'll offer you the bottom-up, but I encourage you reach for other tools to layer on to whatever else you're doing that you need. But let's experience my way of doing a 40-day practice together. So I invite you to come to any comfortable seat. If you want to like kind of cross your legs on the chairs or whatever, you can ground both feet into the ground too, if you'd like. So whatever you need to do there. And just take a moment to be in your body. A lot of times people who have those trauma stories dissociate. We're not here, right? Maybe your body was scary to be in. Scary things happened while you were in it, right? So take a moment just to be in your body. If it feels safe, you can close your eyes. Soft gaze is always welcome. Know that I have my eyes on this room. No need to change your breath at all. No room for manipulation here, just acceptance. And tune into yourself in your own way. Maybe that's a certain prayer you say. Maybe that's just, I'm here. Just spend some time arriving. If the eyes were softened, you can keep them that way. I invite you to rest your hands on your legs comfortably. And begin to inhale, circle forward, whatever direction you went is fine, and exhale, circle back. So you might want to move a little bit forward in your seat or stay close to it, whatever you need. If you are joining me virtually, you can move onto the floor or wherever's comfortable for you. Just start to inhale, big circle forward, and exhale back. Your pace. If and when it feels right, just switch direction. If you want to switch direction again, allow it. When it feels right for you, come back to center. A moment just to feel into your experience. How do you feel? What do you feel? Where do you feel it? And hands still resting on your legs comfortably. Begin to inhale, let your heart breathe forward as much as you'd like. And exhale, let it breathe back. Chin can come to chest. Like seated cat-cows if you've practiced in yoga. Inhale, heart forward. Perhaps open the throat if it feels good. And exhale, heart back. Again, find your pace. With your next inhale, return to center. And again, pause, check in. Invite you to inhale, reach the arms around and up, and exhale, fingertips come at the front of the shoulders, thumbs around back. If your shoulders are like, nope, not today, you can hold your arms in cactus arms too. So whatever's more comfortable. Beautiful. Big breath in, twist towards the left. I'm not mirroring you, so I'm going to my left. Exhale to the right. Inhale left, and exhale right. Size, pace of your twists don't much matter. On your next inhale, recenter again. The following exhale, release the hands down. Again, feel, notice. Only when you're ready, begin to inhale, lift your shoulders gently up by the ears, and exhale, soften them down, and continue working with that movement. On this one, sometimes it feels nice to let the exhale be a big sigh out through the mouth, really letting go. Make as much noise with the breath as you'd like. Next exhale, really let your shoulders go. Again, pause, just feel and be. And then same thing we did with our whole torso. Just begin to do your neck. Inhale to look to the left and exhale to the right. Next inhale, come to center with the gaze. Again, just notice how you feel. Trauma is just the stuckness of these stories, right? It gets stuck in your body, stuck in your nervous system. That's why so many people might experience the same thing, but not have the same effect, right? So sometimes it just gets stuck. So we've just checked in with common places that it gets stuck. So take a moment, revisit, check in with your hips, your pelvis, your belly, your heart, your chest, shoulders, neck. See if you can feel a little bit more ease in those parts of you. If you're feeling called to take a hand to any of those places or anywhere else on your body, allow that. And then choose if you'd like to stay in stillness here, if you just want to move. If you want to stand up wherever you are in this space or virtually, move around, dance. If you'd like to just sit or maybe just move and stretch a little bit in your seat. Maybe if any of those warm-ups really were resonating with you, revisit a couple of those. Let this be more of a felt sense than an intellectualizing. And try to let go of what anyone else in the room is doing. Oftentimes in cases of trauma, we've disconnected a little bit from our intuition. Perhaps you ignored it, and then you kind of judge yourself because it got you in the trauma situation, right? Same. So intuitive movement is really powerful for just giving your body and its inner knowing a chance to understand that you trust it and you're going to listen. So take your time, but eventually arrive back in stillness. And we'll eventually meet in any comfortable seat. So a meditation seat can be whatever you want it to be. You can lie down. I mean, probably not in this space. I don't care if you want to lie on the floor. I really don't care. So go ahead and do it if you want to. But you can sit legs crossed, crisscross applesauce. I'm a former preschool teacher. So legs crossed, legs can be extended. You can always sit in a chair with your feet grounded. So whatever you're comfortable with here, just take a moment to find that. Let's see if you can kind of connect both sit bones into whatever's beneath you equally. And then I invite you to bring your hands palms up comfortably on your legs or your lap or whatever. Wrap your index finger over top of your middle finger, then bring the tip of your ring finger to the tip of the thumb. Pinky stay extended. Now you can rest that wherever's comfortable. Soften the shoulders. Appreciate the natural, beautiful alignment of your spine. And again, perhaps close the eyes, just connect to this hand shape. Pali Mudra. It's a shape of embodiment. Helps us with that coming home. This is my body and I'm safe here. Centers you. Helps encourage faith and trust. Helps digest both nourishment, but also emotions and stories. Can choose just to stay here and be with it, or I invite you to try on this way of breathing with me. If any piece doesn't feel good, let it go. But let all the air out through the nose. Inhale 5 sips of air through the nose. Pause, be with that breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale 5 pieces out through the nose. Continue that pattern on your own. Inhaling 5 pieces, pausing for 5, exhaling 5 pieces. Full permission to adjust the count. If you want 3 instead, allow it. If you want 7, allow that too. About one more minute. After your next exhale, just release control of the breath. You can keep the hand shape or let it go. Just take a moment just to reflect. How'd that feel for you? Now position yourself in a way that just feels restful. If you want to adjust your legs or your arms. And we'll spend a full minute again just in silence, giving our bodies, our minds, our hearts a chance to integrate that practice so far. Begin to return to your body just as mindfully as you arrived in it. So maybe you're touching the tip of each finger with the thumb, kind of rubbing the thumbs on the fingers, moving through the hands or the feet. Take any other movements that feel important to you. Maybe a big stretch or a big sigh. And then take some time to reflect. How have you reclaimed your life from the things you've experienced? How have you already done that? Maybe there's more you want to do. That's okay. But how have you already done that, even the tiniest ways? Take a moment to acknowledge those. For me, I was a high school cheerleading coach this year for the first time. And I was scared to go into big schools with big kids. It felt scary for me, but I was able to do that. I'm sure you have a story like that. How have you done the thing anyway, even though you might have been scared? How have you reclaimed that? And only when you're ready, invitation to meet with your hands, a prayer at your heart. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. And the dark in me sees and honors the dark in each of you too. So much love and gratitude. Thank you for being here, for doing this practice with me, and for all the reclaiming you're doing in your own life. Namaste and Satnam. How are we feeling? Does anyone want to share? You don't have to. Calm? Yeah? Did any of those warm-ups kind of speak to you a little more than others, or different parts of your body you felt holding things more so than others? No, for me, it's always my hips. It's always my hips. Also, my digestive system's pretty healed, but I almost lost my colon, but I chose to get a divorce instead. So that was a big step in that. I see you're smiling over there. What's that?
I said, you'll have to tell me, honey.
So, yeah, our bodies hold the things for us, right? So you just experienced my way of doing my formula for a 40-day practice. So what did we do? We arrived in our bodies and we kind of tuned in, like, this is my time, right? Then we did, some warm-ups? Yep, some warm-ups. Then we did some movement. Now, if we had more space and, you had more ability to move, we could do bigger yogic movements. Then we did meditation. We rested and we reflected. So 6 pieces. For me, that's what makes up a full practice. Now, you might think, okay, Katrina, you're sitting up there. You're a yoga teacher, trainer. You own a yoga studio. You're probably doing 2-hour practices a day. No, I'm not. It is a lot for me. Full disclosure, truth, like big truth telling here. It takes a lot for me to show up for my own practice each day. For me, okay? I can sit up here and lead you, but that's not my practice, right? That's not me sitting there on my own. That's me helping you, right? But we got to devote the time to ourselves too, because we're worth it. We might have all of these other roles, especially as people that hold stories. We might have all of these other roles that we put before ourselves. Like, I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm a whatever it is that you identify as, right? And those are valid, they're important, they are beautiful things about you. But you're beautiful just innately. And you're worth the time it takes to reclaim your life by devoting a little bit of time to yourself daily. So it doesn't have to look like a full hour, 2 hour, 90, whatever. It can. If you have the time and the space and the energy for that today, fantastic. I recommend that. I would love for that for you. But if all you have the time and the energy for is 1 minute, that's enough, just like you are. Okay, so if you hold that shape that I just taught you for 1 minute and just take long, deep breaths, that's enough. So my goal for you moving forward is to not feel intimidated by an embodiment practice. For you to know that it's 1 minute is enough, okay? So for you to take all of those pieces, choose the one that feels the most non-negotiable for you, the most powerful for you. Maybe it was one of those warm-ups. Maybe it was a mudra meditation. Whatever that is for you, and do it every day. Do it every single day. Because that is the way you can reclaim your life, reclaiming those little moments each day. Okay? So for me, it's the mudra meditation. That's what I've witnessed has been the most powerful for myself and for my students. So that's why I wrote a book about it. Literally, my favorite ones, the ones that I use to lead my marriage, are in here. They are broken into 8 40-day practices, 1 for each chakra, because I believe that bringing energetic and physical anatomy together is where the magic happens. All of the awareness, the validation you find when you connect that physical and energetic anatomy is huge. I kind of stumbled upon the chakra system. And I sat there and I'm like, I am constantly being told that I am worthless. I'll not use the bad words. I'm worthless. I'm being told what to wear, what to eat, where to go. My finances are controlled. All of that was stripped from me. All of that is solar plexus stuff. I end up in the hospital on a clear liquid diet at age 26, being diagnosed with a form of colitis, typically diagnosed in 72-year-old men. And my doctor can't tell me why. She looks in my eyes and she says, Katrina, what's wrong in your life that your digestive system is like your body's attacking itself? And I looked at her and I lied right to her face through tears and I said, I don't know. But that was my moment. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. So I started leaning on these practices to remember that my body is mine and it's innately powerful. And I've already been through so much, as much of you, if you're in this room, most likely. Why are you scared of anything else? Right? Why are you scared of anything else? Look at everything you've been through. Look at all the reclamation you've already done. What's left to be scared of? So all you need to do is just devote some time to yourself every day to remind you that you believe in yourself too. Right? Do you believe in yourself too? Yes? Yes, Katrina Marie? Yeah? I'm seeing some smiles. Okay, so that is what I'm offering here. I can't help you with the therapy piece. I am not a therapist. They're a great therapist. I hope you layer in those tools too. But I can help you with the embodiment piece. So I created this book. I created this 40-day practice guide. These are literally like examples of my practices. You can print as many of these as you want to help set you up for success. I also not working for me. I have a yoga membership. So I thank my girl Chelsea. She's one of my teachers at my studio. I love her. Thank you for being here. She passed out pages for you. Those of you that are virtual, you can find all the information at katrinamariyoga.com if you aren't already a member. I know many of you probably are, and I love you. Thank you for being here. But we have a practice membership. Now, sometimes you don't have time for the full 50-minute practice or whatever it is, right? So our classes are recorded. You can do bits and pieces of them. You can also do your own movement practice, your own intuitive movement as your movement piece of it, or you can skip that part altogether and just rely on some of those other pieces that I offered. But it's all about just taking the time to devote something to yourself, okay? So can y'all promise me that you'll do that? Like at least try it for a week. Can you try it for a week? I have a trauma conscious yoga app. There's an 8-day mudra challenge for free on there so people can try this, okay? So Chelsea gave you information on it. Those of you virtually, you can find it on the website. Try it just at least try the 8 days for me. Do we say, I pinky promise I'll try the 8 days for you? Yes, okay, thank you. Thank you, that's what I want. So I just want you to move forward knowing that you're worth it. You're enough as you are, and you deserve a little bit of time for yourself. Amongst all the other things, you deserve time for yourself. I hope you devote that to yourself with the 8 days, but also moving forward. So does anyone have any questions or want to share anything? We have a few minutes left for questions. Go ahead. My studio is in my she shed. So I transformed a big metal building into my she shed. So the studio is in the back, and funnily enough, I detail cars too. I love cars. Did I say I was a car girl at the beginning? I don't know if I did. I usually say that because people think it's funny. So yes, it's just north of Ecus, 31st Road off of 251. So it is literally in a garage. So don't be alarmed when you go there. The schedule that you have in your information shows which classes are virtual and which are actually in the studio, because we have teachers all over the world. I think one of my teachers for sure is at least on here. So hello, Gisela Rose, I love you. We have teachers all over, and practitioners all over the world, so some of the classes are virtual only. So the back of that one page with the QR codes to join the memberships has all of the information on the schedule. And you can click on or you can use the QR code there to actually see the live classes. Thank you for that question. Love for you to join us. We have moon circles once a month too, so those are super fun.
You have what?
Moon circles. About moon circles, so we gather when it's the full moon and we do journaling based on the element of, whatever sign, like today's the Virgo full moon. So we did it last night. We worked with the earth element. We worked with Virgo's need for perfection, which, no, that's boring. And we also worked with the energy of Pisces. So where the sun is, because they're in opposite signs, we work with the water element and the somatics of the two signs. So Virgo rules the belly, Pisces moves the feet. So we did a lot of movement practices with journaling while we're doing positioning in our body in certain ways to really embody that. So yeah, and then a releasing ritual, which is always fun. And our moon workbooks, I don't think we brought one in here, did we, Chelsea? Those are part of the membership, so you can print that, and everything I just said you can do on your own time too. We have a workbook that you can print and fill in. Any other questions for me? Or anyone want to share how they feel or how they've already reclaimed their life? You raising your hand back there? No? Go ahead, raise your hand.
I have like a pretty interesting story. So I've never experienced trauma in my whole life, and I'm 46, and I just got out of a relationship. I too am not a therapist, but I believe that person was a covert narcissist. And I experienced, in addition to like all the mental stuff, even physical symptoms, and like today, realizing that I had this giant circle on my back of like raised tissue, and the doctor said it was granuloma, and they don't know where like they come from and things like that. One of the reasons is stress, of course, traumatic events raise your cortisol levels and things like that. But the spot is actually right over my solar plexus, which is self-confidence and self-esteem, and it's like an etching of a burning of my solar plexus chakra. So pretty interesting stuff, but it's going away. So.
Well, good, because you went away?
Well, removed ourselves from the situation.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. And thank you for sharing that. Because yes, it's very interesting how all of that shows up physically, right? It's very interesting. I have so many people that all those different areas we checked in with, they're like, okay, it's here. I know it's here. I've experienced this. Like my ex-husband choked me. I had a lot of throat chakra stuff. Like I couldn't speak, like I just felt like I couldn't speak. So yes, thank you all for being here. We are at time, but I have a table out there, so we'd love to see you. If you want to come visit, there's copies of my book. I'll sign it for you if you would like, and we'll answer any other questions you have. But thank you. I appreciate all of you, and congratulations on your healing.
Thank you.